Hi everyone, this is Shubham, and in the last few videos, or two videos, if I would say exactly, we have discussed about cloud computing and the types of cloud computing, right? I guess it's time to move on and look into why we have started learning this cloud stuff. So we'll talk about AWS, right? So you can see very simple word talk and very simple data I've prepared, and this is, I feel, enough to let you know about the basics of AWS. So it has been launched internally in 2002 by Amazon team to work on their own data storage, hosting services, server, middleware. They've started working on this or using this AWS for their own stuff. But when it has got successful, they have moved it publicly in 2004 and 2006. 2004, they have come up with XQS instances, which is simple queue services. But 2006, they have given more of the services, like the famous services which we need to learn, like AC2 instances or S3 instances or SQS. And don't worry, we're going to see or look into it for our double CP certification in details. Now, why AWS? Where they're so buzz about AWS, not other firm, not other, like Azure is also there, Google Cloud is also there. If you see about industry, Oracle Cloud is also there. But why AWS? Because AWS, if you see Gartner, if you know Gartner, Gartner is a firm which generally provides the leaders in every quadrant. So if you see like a service leader quadrant, it provides like, okay, what firm is leading in what, who is the leader, who is the cliche in the industry. So they provide this particular chart, this particular X and Y, on X and Y axis. When you go to Gartner website, you'll find AWS is still leading and Azure and Google Cloud is still trailing behind, though they are chasing AWS, but AWS, in my knowledge, still covers more than, I guess, 40%. 40% market of cloud's customers, the base of the customer AWS has. So that is why AWS's revenue is been exceeding and been bloating up, and it's been shooting through the roof. Few of the major clients, if you want to ask who uses AWS, I'll go with like very own Unilever. Unilever does that. Walt Disney Company uses AWS. Sony uses AWS. Hitachi uses AWS. Netflix uses AWS. General Electric uses AWS. So yeah, these are a few biggies which uses AWS for their own stuff. And what services AWS provides? Some ask for them for their cloud storage, which is like this S3 instances. Some ask for their data, like big data analysis they have to do on their, and they ask for this, like Dropbox. Dropbox come to the picture. Startup, they're not gonna spend more on their own premises infrastructure. They'll ask for AWS. Whole gaming server can be hosted on AWS. Website can be hosted on AWS, right? So it's stuff like that. Now, one more thing I need to talk about: how this like what and all, like we have in the last lecture, if you remember, we have talked about the regions, right? That okay, so if I do not have infrastructure, somebody has to have it, right? Where he or she can store the data, or that firm can store the data. So AWS has a data storage, or if you see they call it region, all around the world, right? So in all around the world, when they have regions, so if you cannot go, it is all around the world. It is kind of cluster of data centers. So I'll write few of the data center which AWS has. So suppose in North America they have. In North America, you'll call it like US East. Have in Virginia, US East 1, if you'll call it, right? And this will be belonging to Virginia. Then if you have in Africa, so Africa 1 will be called as AF. Okay, so Africa 1 will be called as like AF South 1, I guess. Yeah, so they have in Africa 1. Then US, they have multiples. And then they something have in India as well. In India, they have it in Mumbai. So Mumbai 1 would be like AP South 1, AP South 1. That's the region name of Mumbai. So if you see, when they are the region which is which AWS has, the infrastructure has been provided over there. Why these regions have been decided? So, and these regions have their data center, their storage stuff. So why do they do have it? And how, and as an user, you're gonna choose this region, right? Suppose you have started working on AWS. Like again, I'm gonna show you everything, how to choose the reason and what the reason exactly means. So reason is something like okay, I started using services and I want to run my website, I want to host my website on AWS. Okay, and what reason you want to use? You're going to see, okay, where my customer base is. Suppose I'm in India, my customer base is in India, but if I choose the region of US East 1, what issue I can face? I can face the time latency issue. The data can come slow to our UI. So you need to see there are 4 or 5 ways or things you need to keep in mind to choose a reason before I started hosting your services and stuff. So first thing is very great thing is like compliance. Okay, so compliance is what is like, suppose you are sitting in Africa and you want to host your website somewhere, and instead of using your Africa reason, you seem to be using Australia one. But suppose government does not allow some of the services over there, and you want to use those services, then it is kind of conflict, right? Don't use that reason and think of that mind, and like government allows that or not. Another thing is like, again, time latency. If you've been sitting in the east part of the world and you're using west part of the world region, that doesn't make sense if your cloud base or customer base is already in east. That is one of the things you need to think before choosing an AWS region. Again, various region or a region, if you talk about it has different, like it has like various places that different pricing. So suppose Mumbai must have higher prices and then China must have lower prices, something like that. So you need to think about, okay, if you're using AWS, it is helping you to reduce the cost which you're gonna have if you're gonna maintain your on-premises infrastructure or data storage services, right? Another thing is like services. So suppose if you'll see, I'll give an example. Your Facebook might have some services over here in India, but those same services he might not have, or she might have, or that particular app might not have in US, right? So application has services based on the places, like continental places or region places, or a country basis, right? Some country allows something, some country doesn't allow something, or some country just need more of that, so that has been given by that particular application. Similar way, AWS has this available services stuff. So suppose few of the things are, major of the things starts, or major of the new things starts with US East 1. But suppose Sydney does not need those things. So Sydney does not have it, and you are using Sydney and you will not be able to use that certain stuff. So that is one more thing. So I guess these are the 4 or 5 ways you can choose your region. You need to think of government regulations. You need to think time latency shouldn't be enough, or I would call it like proximity. You need to think services are available for every region, and you need to think of pricing as well. After all, why are we using AWS? It's all about pricing, right? One more thing about availability zone. So region has like, suppose I'll tell you how. So regions like US East 1. That doesn't mean that only one data availability zones or one data centers AWS has in East 1. They have multiple data centers. I would say like 2 to 3 data centers in the any or every region, and those data centers has copy or multiple facet or multiple data centers inside of that, so that any kind of disaster comes up in one availability zone, other two are not impacted and their client won't the client does not see any kind of harm. So this is one more thing, and they are connected with high bandwidth and very low latency, so that whenever data leaves the starting point does not reach pretty late, I would say. And with the latest knowledge, I remember it's like AWS has this presence. I would say like the point presence in 84 cities around the world, or 80 plus cities around the world. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And in the next lecture, I would see and I would talk about, I guess, we'll directly jump into AWS. Right now, we have seen more of this word file, the written stuff. I know this is not very much engaging, unless you see how console and stuff looks. The next lecture, I'll not be waiting much enough, and I'll directly jump into AWS application, or I'll see you guys into console. Till that time, just go through these three videos. These are the kind of basic video, basic idea knowledge you should be having before starting with AWS, right? So yeah, thank you everyone. See you in the next lecture. Please drop your feedback. Bye.